All right, guys. Titans League Gold action. Just to repeat myself here, we have Sora Kuma, who won 3-0 in his first round, playing his second round now against Capoch. Capoch, this is supposed to be his second round, but his first round got delayed because his opponent was ill. So this is his first round. And Capoch is a very serious tournament player. He's a player who, honestly, I've never even seen him play a ranked game and not be playing at 120% serious mode, right? Like, he doesn't have a casualness about him. That is why he can be almost 40 years old and still competing in an RTS like this. Sora Kuma, younger player, feels like the next generation, really well prepared. Had to fight through the bronze bracket to eventually make it up to golds. I really do feel like Sora Kuma could be in platinum in the future. And I think Capoch could get back to platinum. So it's an interesting group. But Sora Kuma has 3 wins after the first round. So a very solid start there. We got Burgundians for Sora Kuma. So I'm immediately thinking about the Flemish Militia, because on this map, Monocle, you've got all these shorefish around and occasionally box turtles, I guess. And that's just a lot of food eco. So I think so far the meta on these maps have been lots of villagers on the shorefish, lots of man-at-arms, and lots of, in Burgundian's case, Flemish Militia. I've even seen Armenians and Longsword. In the past, this used to be a really heavy scout map. So I think it could actually be both. I don't think it just has to be infantry, but infantry can hit a little bit faster in early feudal age, of course. So Capwatch has picked Bulgarians for the free man-at-arm upgrade. And Sora Kuma, again, probably just hoping on Flemish Militia and maybe some archers. Okay, I'm going to do a test here. Hardy's going to get mad at me because I think I'm not supposed to test the gold stuff yet. But we're going to do a test. We've been working on some things in between streams. So let me do this test first. Okay, so this is on me to get into the habit of doing it. Okay, Hardy didn't know what I was going to show, but that's the draft on screen. So I should be able to toggle the draft on screen at any point in time throughout a series now, which is really nice. So that's cool. I just got to remember to remove it. And then we don't have things set up for the gold groups to pop up. But, you know, in theory, if we wanted to look at the platinum groups, we wanted to see at the live standings this very second. There we go. Now, platinum hasn't started yet. But this is going to save Hardy some work with the edits later. And it is live, too. So if anything changes, like if the Liquipedia editors are on their game, which they typically are, I'm going to be able to toss that stuff in as we go throughout TTL. So thank you for the oohs and the ahs there, chat. I like that. You guys understand. I like it. I don't know how serious you're being, but yeah, it should make things pretty easy here. So, if I really had the time, I could go through and I could show you the early versions of every map, and I could talk about the tiny tweaks we wanted to make for the season. I don't have that time, but I can tell you on this map, Monocle always had the shorefish around, but the woodlines were really big in the middle. And we were actually considering there's a map in this map pool called African River, and then there was another map called African Springs, which was kind of like Monocle, where you have this shorefish. But, you know, it was African themed. And so initially, guys, in our plans, we had African River and African Springs in our map pool. And then we would be talking about the maps, and we would always say the wrong one. And I was like, with 15 maps in the pool, if we have 2 African-themed maps that have very similar names, it's going to get very confusing. So I was like, well, don't worry. We can go for Monocle, because Monocle has similar concepts to what we're looking for. And so that's how we ended up here. And long story short, we opened up the woodlines in the middle. So you can't actually go through the middle. It is wallable, but we've seen some holes in these walls too. It's easier said than done to full wall anything here. So we got the villagers on shorefish for Capoch. We actually don't have any villagers on shorefish for Sora Kuma, which is really surprising. But this is a super fast archer build, and he does see the barracks, so I guess he's aware that it's going to be man-at-arms from the middle. I think Capwatch is fully expecting the shorefish to be kind of everything here. And it still has to be. There's no way you can just farm safely. The villagers are going to come out here now. I mean, you can farm safely, but you don't want to be on farms because farms are not very efficient. I do like this detail from Capwatch. He's just walking back and forth to get the gold. Man-at-Arm upgrade is free. And so here we go. And Flemish Militia meet Man-at-Arm. It should be really difficult to match the Man-at-Arms with Flemish Militia because you have to wait for Feudal Age to produce your units. But they just produce so fast, dude. Like, that's what we realized in Empire Wars. Like, these things produce way too fast. They're so strong, too. So, I really like the Burgundian choice here. And I think Capwatch is realizing, he's like, okay. Game number 1, I've been found. Sora Kuma understood what I was going to do. And Sora Kuma, he clearly understands this, too. He isn't bringing everything to defend right away. He's actually going to tower out here, which is interesting. And he's going to go attack Capwatch with Flemish Militia, too. This will be overwhelming for Capwatch. I don't know how much training he does compared to a player like Sora Kuma these days. I'm pretty sure Capwatch, you know, he's late 30s. He's got a family and stuff. My guess would be he looks at the maps. He thinks on how he needs to play them. But I don't know if he's spamming practice sets. And I think he's going to look at this and be like, wait, what? There's Flemish Militia here already? And there's Flemish Militia here? Because normally your opponent goes forward against you. You want to then attack them. Capwatch is doing that right now. He is about to get armor for his infantry. And so far, no big losses. He does need to be careful. He's a little close to the town center there. Honestly, well played from both players in the defense so far. I think this could have gotten nasty for both of them. Still could get nasty for Sora Kuma. Capwatch with the blocking there. Oh, that's really well done. That's really well done. Without that block, he doesn't get the villager kill. So Capwatch defends the early attack. Man-at-Arms pay off. He is making archers, which I think is a little bit questionable long-term. Just because, you know, Bulgarians don't get crossbow. And it really is just about how many villagers can you have on the shorefish. So players are going to be towering. I'm still curious if scouts is ever an option for Capwatch. But I think with the strength of Flemish Militia, you're probably thinking the answer is no there. And villagers being attacked on the berries. Flemish Militia still around. And those units are going to back off. Flemish Militia come this way. Nice defense again there from Capwatch. That's really well played. This is what I'm saying, guys. Like, Capwatch is serious, man. And there's just something to be said about how he never has an off day. He always is able to bring the same level. And he has this level of intensity, which I think really fits tournaments. And if you ever play him in a ranked game, too, you're like... Some players, like myself, like, I can't be that level of serious all the time. I want to think, like, dude, just relax. But it's a war game, you know? Blacksmith is up for Sora Kuma. More armies coming in from Capwatch here. He's really utilized the cheaper and faster researching blacksmith upgrades. Both players have an army at the other's base right now, so some damage control is going to be needed. You know, eventually this tower is not going to protect the shorefish you're on anymore. You'll have to move elsewhere. So, just something to keep in mind. Like, they're relatively safe now, but the way they're committing to their builds, you've got to stay on the shorefish. No one's going for any farms, really, so... Nice damage control here from Capwatch. And Sora Kuma also playing really solid. Sora Kuma catching up on some of these upgrades. Let's keep in mind that Sora Kuma is Burgundian, so he could get the Castle Age Eco upgrades early. And Sora Kuma is ahead in resources collected, which is always good. Did lose one villager, so that should scale back a little bit. Capwatch has over a minute of TC idle time. Wow. How does that happen? I'm going to guess he got housed a couple times. I didn't realize that was happening. T90, wasn't this map also in a team game tournament? You're thinking of the map I mentioned before. I don't know when you got here, Wall and Boom, but I was talking... There's a map called African Springs, and that's the one you're thinking of. There's some minor differences. It's African-themed. You also have the shorefish. And again, when I said we were going to use African Springs... but then there was also African River in the pool, and it quickly got confusing. So I always remembered Monocle as an option to give us this type of setup. So very similar. Good memory, though. Let's just check how many villagers are on the fish. I think we need to do that. 15 against 17. Efficiency's a little bit off. A new mill's going to need to be placed, but I think Sorakuma's... This is what Soruma often does. He just gets comfortable. He sits back. He's like, all right, let's chill. I think that Capwatch has a little bit less chill, which can be a positive, also could be a negative. But I think we might see a big engagement underneath the tower soon. The tower doesn't do too much, but still, you take that bad boy down, you can take any fight up here, no problem. Soruma buying some stone. Okay, so that's an interesting call. I really like that. Because now you can build a tower in an area that actually protects you and justify moving forward. It got really quiet here for both players, so they're not really sure where the other person is. Capoch is getting arson. And Capoch is looping around for a surprise. Without that tower, Soruma would definitely be in big trouble there. Capwatch, if he looks back at home, might be able to see this. He doesn't have his own tower. I do think he can just dive and attack the tower. But there are a lot of weak man-at-arms in here, too. And there's an army from Soruma. So here we go. Capwatch has to hop into his tower, which doesn't always protect the fish. Soruma has a new tower, which Capwatch wasn't aware of. So now Capwatch, with all the choke points, has to think twice about fighting. It's not a bad fight for Capwatch, though. He's just not getting any eco damage yet. The Capwatch was able to just shift over to these shorefish, but I think the fact that the shorefish were delayed was enough for Soruma there to be happy. He does lose some archers. He is having a tough time, but he is also on the way to Castle Age. So I could see him, as he's getting attacked over on this side, I could see him continuing to produce more Flemish militia. Maybe you want to play in towards crossbowmen now, actually. So you could still continually make some archers. Could, in theory, drop a stable and think about making some knights and cavalier in Castle Age. But yeah, well played here from Soruma to hold on. Still has the better eco. And I don't know exactly why all of that is, because the eco KD is the same. Obviously, he has more, like, in theory, 1 or 2 more vills because of the lack of idle TC time. But I really think it's just been the efficiency on the shorefish. The amount of times he's had villagers working there versus not. And Capwatch will feel like he needs to click up to Castle Age as well. Capwatch will add in a couple farms, which aren't going to hurt, obviously. And Capwatch needs to click, and there he goes. So, yeah, we could see infantry continuously from both, right? Capwatch gets the longsword upgrade for free when he reaches the next stage. So, I still think we could see longswords as the play. I am seeing 2 stables from Soruma, though, so Soruma is clearly going to switch out of the infantry. He's found an area where Capwatch is exposed, and should be another vill pick. Kind of crazy just how much army we've seen, and it's only been 3 villagers dead. But don't worry, I'm sure that Soruma can change that, because he's about to hit Castle Age. So this should be 1 more. The stat increase for the Flemish militia should give him another kill there, but he just moves along. He's got this to worry about, too. Mods, can we do me a favor? Like, this would be really helpful. The TTL commands. I'm going to vamp the commands up myself at some point. Can we just remove the hosted by T90 official and make it hosted by T90? Because Nightbot keeps tagging me. Every time someone wants to use the command, Nightbot tags me. And I get the notification on my other screen, and it's really annoying. That would be helpful if one of the mods could change that for me. Yes, chat, you're so funny. Now, all of a sudden, you guys are looking for the command. Yes. Thank you. This is such a good fight for Soruma. This is such a good fight. It is all right before the longsword upgrade comes in for Capwatch. He's got knights here now, too. This is so good. There is some army over here for Capwatch, but it's not being microed. It's on stand ground, which is not so good. And Soruma was patient. Soruma, who won 3-0 in the first round, looking to get the 4th win in a row. The Soruma is the real deal, man. I think that this is easy enough to defend with the knight. We'll see. This is really frustrating for Capwatch. It's by no means over, but What army is he going to have if his villagers are not working efficiently on the shorefish? Honestly, I think cav archers could be a decent option for Bulgarians in the perfect world, but I think on this map it's so food heavy. And yeah, knights are running this way. Thank you, Arbase. And villagers are so weak over here. Can be a really quick game from here. But we have seen some long games at the same time. Really, the reason it can be a quick game is because you can do damage to one player. But of course, they can get counter damage too. That's what Capwatch needs. He needs to get some counter damage over here. But it feels like Sorakuma's waiting, right? He saves the weak knight. He'll have a monk there to heal it up. And then if there's any counter damage, he's just got a monk waiting. So this is a feast for Soruma. 11 villager kills. The Capwatch had the right idea with the Bulgarians, but he was just not able to do enough. Flemish militia seemed to be able to match it pretty nicely. Again, Soruma, even though Capwatch had a good game and good game plan, Soruma just seemed so comfortable. Weak knights are falling back towards the monks. Second town center is actually going up here too. And he knows how exposed Capwatch is. Capwatch is waiting for his first monk. And yeah, Capwatch will have the monk out. Soruma needs to run away. The weak knight will kill the monk, but he does lose his friend. So nice conversion there for Capwatch. Yeah, this Burgundians play isn't new. I know the map is kind of new for you guys. Maybe it's the first time you've seen it. But silver started before gold, so there'd been some games already. I saw a few players play Burgundians here. It seems really strong. Just the early stage, but now the fact that you can switch into Cavalier is really nice. The mobility matters more now, right? 2 TCs for Soruma. Now you might start to see the occasional farm. And he heads right back to the shorefish where he knows Capwatch is feasting. And oh, Capwatch doesn't get the conversion, dude. Felt like Capwatch deserved the conversion there. But that's not how it works. You don't deserve anything in Age of Empires. And if you're hoping for luck with the monks, no guarantees you'll get it. But I'd be thinking, what, is he Teutons? Like, how on earth did that conversion not happen? Still no husbandry for Capwatch either. So Sorakuma's just running away with the extra speed on the knights. Look at the difference in population now. My goodness. It's 73 pop for Soruma, 46 for Capwatch. Remember, it's 25k in the Gold League. And if you're first in the group, you go immediately to Plat, which is 64k. That's huge. Soruma hasn't had that long of a career, at the high level. So, gold's already a really nice chunk of prize pool for him. But he won 3-0 the first round. He wins 3-0 now against Capwatch, which I'm getting ahead of myself because I think Capwatch will have some chances for wins. It would be an amazing start for Soruma. Capwatch knows he's behind, so he's just going to engage. He doesn't actually lose any knights to the conversions, but still just so much army for Soruma here. Third town center coming up for Soruma now. Birch TV, welcome. I'm glad that I realized it was B-E-R-T-C-H. I thought it was B-I-T-C-H for a second. Thank you very much. Welcome to the stream. He says, been watching your YouTube vids. Nice to see you live. Well, welcome. We'll have lots of content coming. Sorry, I might have just called you the B word. Hope you can understand the confusion there. And knights are chasing around. Monks are still going to be hopping out for Soruma. 67 villagers against 36. This should be over. I mean, the fact that Capwatch still doesn't have husbandry is so painful, too. These knights can't even flee properly. But he's just been so far behind in resources collected. He hasn't been able to afford anything. Husbandry doesn't save that knight. Now husbandry's in. Now those knights can get away. And Sorakuma's just played it perfect. He's super heavy on stone, so playing towards a castle. If things were to get kind of nervous here, he could always place a castle up here. And just as you expect from the best players in the world, they get the lead. They don't feel inclined to just finish the player immediately because that's maybe a bit risky. They just play patient. They play smooth. And they just wait in the right positions. That's exactly what we're seeing here. The monks get the conversions. Capwatch's counterattack will not do what he wants at all. And so he'll sacrifice everything. And game number 1 goes to Soruma. Soruma is so good. That was such a smooth start. Yeah, really like the Burgundians here. This was the first Civ pick for Soruma, so that's worth pointing out. It was his number 1 Civ pick. So he really felt like this is strong. That was the... Wait. The draft is on the wrong side. Shoot! I got to fix that. But anyways, I think that's the tiny detail to mention here for Capoch. It was his last pick. This was not a map he prioritized as much with the draft. But still, Soruma made that look easy. And Capoch is probably like, damn. You know, this guy's legit. I need to bring my A game for the next one. 20k res collected there from Soruma. Only 15k for Capoch. Capoch just didn't find the damage he wanted. And he did a lot in Feudal Age to try it as well. He just wasn't able to get to the positions he needed. Alrighty. Quick look at the map. Make sure there's no bugs. Because we had the berry bug. Everything's looking fine. Everything's looking fine. It does still seem like we've got some crocs on the shoreline that eventually I'm going to want to patch out. But it is fair for both players. We're not going to restart that. I think that's how the map is set right now. We've got game number 2. And we've got Soruma playing as the Bengalis. And then we got Capoch playing as the Georgians on Sey Shells. And so as I was explaining, you've got the water in the middle. You can take the... What is this? Dolphins? Oh, man. Jamie's going to be pissed about this. I didn't know about that one. We've got dolphins in the middle, which you can eat, sadly. You've also got some snappers. You just got some fish for food income. You also have oysters for gold income, so you have the option. And then around the map, there's also oysters on the outside. There's these little islands where you can transport out to take some stone and gold as well. Can produce some pretty long games. The original version of this map was actually size 3, not size 2. So I believe we made this size 2, so it's not quite as big. And this is Capoch's home map, so he's clearly got a plan. He's played the Georgians, though. Georgians' navy isn't that spectacular. So I would assume that Capoch wants to turn this into more of a lands game, which you can definitely do on this map. So I could see a scout opening happening. Maybe a mix of fire ships and scouts. Now, where the player's dock is a big deal. Capoch, he is using his transport ship to scout the backside. You do also start with the transport here. And there goes the transport ship, scouting to look for a dock on the back, because players will dock soon. And then his scout as well is scouting his own back pond. So maybe he's thinking about building a dock back there now. But yeah, as it stands right now, we're gonna make some tweaks. Technically, if you go forward without your scout, you could lose a villager to a crocodile. And for anyone who's like, boo, we like it when people lose villagers. Why change that? It's the same for both players. It's just unnecessary RNG. It's unfair. And losing your dock villager is horrible. So had Soruma not been paying attention here, this could have been really bad. They also made crocodiles have a charge attack now. So they do more damage than they ever did. So yeah, I will fix. That's our bad. And honestly, that's my bad because I let that one slip through the cracks. Maybe everyone else thought it was fine. I'm okay with a croc here. You put the croc on the crossing. We can call it the croc crossing. That's fine. No one's going to dock there in Dark Age. But it should not be there. Or on the backside. So we'll get that fixed as quickly as possible. But yeah, dock is up there from Soruma on the front, which Capoch will now see. And Capoch is docked the side. So, decisions to make from Capoch on how he wants to address the middle dock. I get it. You guys aren't fighting for $25,000. You guys are just here for some entertainment, and you like it when people lose some vills. Don't worry, lots of vills will die in this game. But I just want to explain the reasoning on the decisions we make, right? And I feel even worse about it because I have openly complained about the balancing of a map. I lost 2 villagers to crocodiles on shorelines in a map once. And my opponent built docks in the same position, did the same things, didn't have anything attacking him. So yeah, we'll fix that. No problem. Sora Kuma has a villager in this transport ship, as well as the scout. So what is this? He's transporting the villager forward. I've seen Bengalis played here before. The player actually went fast castle into Ratha. A game went on for like 2 hours after that. It was a pretty crazy one, but that was in Silver League. In Gold League, you'd expect some different strats, but I don't know what this is exactly. Here comes the villager. That feels like a dock, Bill, but like, does the dock bring you any value? He does not know Capwatch is over here. Might just be a sneak for some army. Maybe he needs more information still. And Capwatch knows where his dock is. And Sora Kuma is still a little bit confused on that. His scouting honestly hasn't been stellar. He scouted the outside with his transport ship too early. But there's that villager just chilling there. And I guess there's a plan for him, but we just don't know what yet. I don't think he knows what yet either. I think he has to find out where the dock is first to know what Capwatch is going to do. He's definitely scouting the shoreline here, looking for a dock. He's also scouting here. He'll find out in a second. Yo, Super Low Man, thank you. Thank you for the 9 months. Ram, welcome back. Thank you for the 23. Mad Bougie, thank you. 12 Angry Birds. He says, I love having a little bit of T90 every day. I love you. That'll be the case the next couple days. No big long streams, it seems. Maybe like 6 hours max today. We don't have a ton of sets scheduled for this weekend, but then you're going to have a little bit more than a little once Titans League Platinum kicks off, and we'll be live with 3 sets minimum every day. So thank you. Thank you, Gauntlet Wizard. He says, do you think they should add wood and stone piles that fishing ships can use? Mangroves and outcroppings, question mark. I'm not really sure. Oh my god, Capwatch is doing the same thing. I'm not really sure about wood. I like the addition of the oysters. I'd have to think about the other things. So Sora Kuma has transported forward and has a villager forward. And is going to go sneak man-at-arms. And Capwatch is a villager forward, and he's going to go sneak archers. I'm loving this already. Both players have their fishing ships safe because the opponent hasn't docked in that position. Sora Kuma is actually taking the gold. Eventually, you could see a sneak dock from somebody to try and kill the fish. But yeah, this is crazy that the other just does not know what's happening. But I think in Capwatch's case, he might be a little bit more confused. Because he doesn't see any indicators. He doesn't see a barracks at home. He hasn't seen a second dock. Maybe he's expecting the second dock anyways. But Capwatch thinks he's being a beast. And he's going to win the game with this. As Sora Kuma thinks the exact same thing. Nobody knows. I think Sora Kuma will be under pressure on water. That's what he's expecting Capwatch to be going fast feudal for. So he's making some fires from 2 docks. Capwatch has a dock there. That is going to happen eventually. Will Capwatch notice this? Capwatch is going for a blacksmith behind for the archers. Again, you need defensive archers against man-at-arms. So forward archers, it's kind of problematic. The scout is lurking around like he's got a plan. Does Capwatch notice this? That's going to be easily 1 villager kill. And now Sora Kuma shifts over to the other vills, and all the villagers have to fight back here for Capwatch. Okay, those archers need to move in now. Great attack there from Sora Kuma. Lots of idle time for Capwatch. Still, I wonder, Sora Kuma's thinking, he's like, all right, what is Capwatch doing? He's thinking, I just won the game. This is so good for me. This isn't a problem at all. The scout from Capwatch actually killed a villager at some point, so we missed that. But yeah, he wants to take the berries, and Capwatch is like, perfect. That's exactly what I want you to do. This is exactly where I want you to be. The archers are here with fletching. Capwatch is still defending at home. He had to quick wall and whatnot. But the archers are here. Counter damage for Capwatch. What a game, dude. What a game. This is crazy. Both players have some really big problems right now. I think a defensive archer range could work for both. Sora Kuma, it feels a little bit more difficult because he's been pushed off some of these resources. But I would say immediate archer range at home. He still does have his fires in the middle. Capwatch has not been able to muster up enough army to consider attacking there. But yeah, really fun one here. Really close game. Spearmen are going down. Villagers will get pushed off of this wood line now. The Capwatch could actually justify moving out and placing mills. If these man-at-arms don't have any range. So I think it's still fine for Capwatch. The fact that you can wall out man-at-arms and you can't wall out archers is a pretty big deal. Archer range for Soruma. He never placed a tower. That could be something to consider here. Ooh, and there's a fire galley from Soruma on the outside. Wow, so the forward villager came down here and built a dock, and there's 2 fires coming there. Ooh, that is some really good damage. Capwatch was never expecting that. Yeah, that's some crazy damage. Because that's 6 fishing ships that are all going to be idled or go down. The Capwatch will want counter damage himself in the middle, though. Yeah, Alec, you're going to have to ask me that question in between games, man. This game is too crazy. I'll get there when I can. Trying to multitask, trust me, but there's like 3 or 4 different things happening at once right now. A tower from Capoch. It's not a bad tower, but there's a counter tower from Soruma now, so he's going to move. Skirmishers are out for Soruma, so I like his position again. Again, mainly because of the water, but Capoch will be on water himself. Capwatch's archers run through. Only loses 1 so far, but it could be more in a second. There is a defensive range from Capwatch to force away the man-at-arms. And now Capwatch is in the middle. This game is just crazy. And now Capwatch says, I'll kill your fish. And that'll be pretty convincing as well. So we're going to have a game where both players have taken land damage. Both players have taken significant water damage. I mean, both players, in all of their practice and all their dreams for this game, would have felt that if they did the damage that they did, they would have won already. But it's going to equal out. It's going to be very even. Like, right now, Capwatch will have the slight eco lead there, but, like, he doesn't have his shorefish and his berries yet. He doesn't have any farms yet. Soruma has farms. Soruma has the food. What Soruma can't take easily is he can't actually take a gold. He would need a tower for that. But he is on stone. So yeah, crazy game. The Capwatch is going to be towering the golds now too. Andy has the stable so he can make scouts, in theory. What in the world? This is so cool, man. In these types of games, though, I think having transition into farms and having this additional food is key. The Capwatch wants to produce scouts. Soruma saw the tower. Soruma forces that tower to be deleted. Soruma doesn't know about the stable, though. I guess this gold is still something he can take if he really needs gold. But prior to losing his fish here, he could have always had the gold from the oysters. And now that's not an option, right? Okay, skirmishers see the stable. They immediately back off. And he'll just wall up. And he was placing a tower foundation here to take this gold. And now Capwatch comes over. Yeah, Capwatch is like, where are you going to take gold, bro? Where are you going to take gold? It's still possible that Soruma can get back over there. Soruma is placing a tower on the stone. Expects Capwatch to loop around. The tower is a good call here because you didn't actually need it against the archers because you have your skirms, but the scouts are going to come over and then your skirms can't defend. Capwatch needs farms. He's doing it. Still has all this food over here. Maybe needs to balance out his res. I think using gold and using the market here could be key. Because at least in Sorakuma's case, Soruma doesn't have that luxury. He can't take any gold. The scout won't do enough on its own underneath the berries there. Scout over here, though, could maybe find a villager. I think Soruma is trying to get a dock down. He's very overwhelmed right now. That villager's been lost. He still hasn't completed his market yet either. It's a nice job from Capoch. Eco KD is 10 to 8 now. Could get another one, too. That's a weak villager in there. Sorakuma's kind of cracking under this pressure at the moment. So important for Capwatch to get this win. This is his home map. The final game will be played anyways, but that's on Sorakuma's home map, and Soruma is a beastly player that hopefully, after this series, will beat other players. So you're kind of hoping after you play a player in this format, Scout's still going crazy, but you want to get a win or two against them and hope they beat everybody else. would help your position in the standings. And yeah, for Capwatch, this is his first week. So you got to start off with some wins. Otherwise, things can snowball on you pretty quickly. Capwatch balancing out his resources to go to Castle Age. Right after Soruma clicks up to Castle Age. Who's ahead, guys? I challenge you to pick somebody. This is honestly an example of maybe a nearly perfect balance game. Because you have one player up to Castle Age a little bit faster. They will have more villagers after the +2 vills, I think. Maybe not. Yeah, Capoch has reclaimed water, has added some more fish. Yes, and Capoch still has the land presence, which Soruma doesn't have. So yeah, maybe Capoch definitely has a lead. I don't know if it's enough of a lead to win the game. If the Bengali player is able to get to Ratha. That's what's been in the back of my mind. We're going to have a castle from Soruma once he makes it up. If Soruma wasn't up to Castle Age faster, he would have massive problems. But he is. And he'll have the stone for the castle. I'm guessing the castle will go over here. But you might want to place the castle over here. Because a castle on this side could eventually shoot down those stables. Capoch is going to try and slowly just stream knights into this eco. You might need protection where you're taking resources. So maybe you delete these walls. You place the castle here. You can then take the gold. You can take the wood. And then it takes care of those stables for you. Wow, he goes for a town center first. Kind of confident play there to go for the town center first. Capwatch has a lot of boats. He's got more boats on the outside. He's got more on the inside. Soruma has completely forgotten about this dock. That's 150 wood just sitting there. That's like if you leave 20 bucks in your pocket. And then I don't know if he's going to do the laundry later and find this. But we've all been there, right? Actually, that's just a saying. I think I've never found 20 bucks in my pocket. I think I found $1 in my pocket. I found a wrinkly old $1 bill, never a 20. Knight goes into the TC, so the town center's perfect. Soruma, where's the castle, my friend? Where's the castle? Knights go down for Capoch. I think Capoch maybe saw that bill. There comes the villager. Capoch is dropping town centers. We got a forward monastery from Soruma. And now he drops the castle. Okay. I feel like this castle is just way too late. I thought it could have been immediate. He had the stone for a while. Obviously, multitasking is tricky here. And Sorakuma's not the fastest player in the scene. But alright, castle will go up. Still has access to gold. Does Capoch see this? Okay, now he does. So now Capoch completes the town center and he sees there's a forward monastery. He doesn't see there's a siege workshop though. That's kind of crazy. And now Capoch is like, hold on, wait a second. What? Nice awareness from Capoch to notice this. And he can deny the siege workshop. And actually, if you don't have a monastery and a siege workshop, the monastery is kind of useless. Random monks shouldn't do a lot. But it is Bengali monks, so it could. Church now from Capoch. He's going to try a church rush on the gold. And the churches build lightning quick. They build faster than a tower with less villagers, which is insane. But they do. And it can be used as a defensive or offensive structure. The middle dock didn't do a lot for Soruma, but it was a nice effort. Soruma needs to focus on making the Ratha here. I really do think Ratha are a good enough unit to bring this game back. I know right now the eco lead's there for Capoch, but I'm telling you, Ratha are just such a good unit. It's a wood gold knight if you use the melee mode. There's exposed villagers over here for Capoch. This could all go down. You just don't know. And also, the monks might hop out. It's very risky. But he is still making monks there, so I don't know if he has plans. Just so much aggression from Capoch. He's trying to raid the left side. That gets found. He's trying to raid the right side. He also is making some monks on the front. He's going to make some mangonels to pressure the tower. Lovely game. But Capwatch is cooking up a little bit. And he's gone crazy mode here. So if he wants to continue with that, we might see a castle. And there it is. That's a 5-villager castle? But hey, I like it. Because at home, you're fine right now. You're on 3 town centers. And now you've got the monastery locked down. This castle just needs to keep that gold away from Sora Kuma. That's the idea. And now I'm not so convinced the Ratha can bring it back. It feels like the Ratha needed to take this position. And they just can't do so that easily now. You can't stop that castle if there's a monk and there's siege and there's knights there. So it will go up. And so advantage Capwatch. Monks hop out. And, okay. Well, now he has an army of archers with the monks. Well played from Sora Kuma. I would have maybe given up on that, but he needs some counterattacking, so he's going to use Capwatch's army for the counterattack. And actually, if you want to clear this, you're going to send knights or Manaspa home, and then there's going to be more monks around. I also don't know if Capwatch noticed that. Yeah, he notices it. He's just going to angrily fight the archers back, but the archers are being healed. Capwatch, you need something else, man. And if Sora Kuma converts a villager, he can complete the siege workshop. Run, 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 run! Run, run! Dude. If he starts to see... Oh my god, he got 3 villagers. Now look at the vill count. Look at the eco count now. So now he's going to have a siege monk push over here. Guys, Sora Kuma could actually build a castle here if he converts a couple more villagers as well, which would be crazy, obviously. It'd be crazy, but it could happen. Oh, Capwatch is building his own. Thankfully, there's no siege on the way yet, because this could have been horrible. He needs to build that fast. He's raiding with the knights. The Ratha are trying to defend. Siege is not on the way. Capwatch correctly brings scouts over. Good call from Capwatch. I don't think without Lycav you kill them, though. And a castle goes up. Use the castle on the monks, and yeah, let's go, Capwatch. That's good. That's clean. Well played from Sora Kuma, but he still has some big economic problems, man. There's still a castle on his face. He's still going to lose the town center. The monk push is dead. The villagers, the imposters are going to get killed. Capwatch has tons of farms. Capwatch has played this amazing. Really nice game plan. And it just... I honestly, the archers were great. He obviously needed them, but what he was able to do to recover on water was the key here in this game. Like winning the middle water and then also reclaiming the outside water is pretty sick. I will say that I think Navy-wise, Georgians, they struggle. They don't get shipwright. They don't get elite cannon galleon. They don't get heavy demo. And some civs are going to have better upgrades there. Like Bengalis at least get shipwright. So if this does go late, they get shipwright and elite cannon galleon. So I think Sora Kuma will be telling himself that his civ is superior in the long run. But this has become a land-focused game. It's not just water v water. Land is actually a big factor. And, oh, speaking of land, hold on. Sora Kuma knows he's behind. He's bringing 15 vills. Can he actually fit a castle anywhere? Can he fit it where the Ratha are right now? Or is he trying to take down the farms so he can place it there? I think that's exactly what he's doing. Oh my god. That's a crazy castle. If this goes up, he could definitely bring the game back. But if it doesn't go up, obviously, it's game over. The Ratha are here blocking the way. The castle's on the way up. Capwatch deletes some of his houses so he can get some units around. Sora Kuma drops a house foundation to block the pathing. Castle's at 50%. The army for Capwatch is not sniping the villagers yet. 65% now. 70%. Capwatch is focusing down the vills. 75. And all the villagers die. And I think the army will then die as well. And that should be the hold for Capwatch. Imagine, though, if that castle goes up and then Sora Kuma retakes water, we have a game on our hands. But well played from Capoch. That was immediate reaction. And he's just got a lot of eco, a lot of Manaspa production. He will drop his own castle here. I kind of expected to see melee mode there for Sora Kuma. I think that's what I would have tried. But the more I think about it, melee mode against Manaspa might not be good. And he already has the ranged upgrades. He doesn't have any melee upgrades. Here come the follow-up builds. But Capwatch's castle is going to be up. Sora Kuma won't know that. Actually, he built a house, so he does know that. Well, I mean, you know it. You still feel like you have to try. But it's looking a little ambitious now. He'll just drop a random TC here. And the Manaspa are just going to wait on the hill. Capwatch almost 200 population. And still sending in raids from the side here as well. So well played from Capwatch. Capwatch is a beast. Like I said, both Capwatch is a former Platinum player. I could see him making it back there. Sora Kuma has never been in Platinum, but feels like the caliber that could make it there too. These two are expected, at least in my mind, to be top 3 in their group. But yeah, Sora Kuma can't believe it. And does not want to tap, but there is just too many bad things happening to him right now. More raids there from Capoch. The town center is going to melt. 15 villagers are going to die. This is Capoch's game. T90, how long will you be streaming today? Well, it depends on how long Sora Kuma chooses to play. Down 100 population. So, I'll answer that question once we find out when Sora Kuma is going to resign here. He's looking a little dead. Ratha are very strong unit. So, you know, he's like, we can still do it. We can still do it. We have Svan Towers on the way now for Capwatch. And, of course, Sora Kuma doesn't know that Capwatch is on the way to Imp. Sora Kuma just hoping to stabilize. He's like, I'm not maxed out yet. I need to get ballistics. Let's snack ballistics. Then we can do this. But yeah, I think this will be 1-1. Yeah, so the answer on my stream today. So I don't have an idea of how much time because I have no clue how long the games are going to be. But we'll finish this series. After this, there's, so another series in silver has just started. Or sorry, a series in silver has just started. This is gold. If that's still happening, we'll cast it. It's a really nice series, but I think it's already started. And then after that, we will cast Jordan against Kingston in gold. And then I don't think there's anything else on the schedule. So we got, I guess, 2 full sets. 2 full sets, maybe a game or 2 mixed in there, depending on what the other series looks like. And Manaspa are just kind of everywhere right now. And Sora Kuma still has got to the Ratha. He just hits the point. He's like, yes, ballistics. This is the upgrade I've been missing. This is what makes the difference in these fights. And then he's going to see Imperial Age come in. And Capoch is massacring his villagers underneath the town center anyways. GG's called. That was a really nice game from Capoch. The forward archer range was awesome. And honestly, it's the last thing you expect from the Georgians. If you go down the list of things you expect from Georgians here, it would start with like man-at-arms, because they're a good civilization for a man-at-arms opening due to the mule cart wood savings. Scouts. Maybe scouts into archers, but you're never expecting an archer range at home in the back of your base like that. So that was fun. They both did some damage. Really liked how Capwatch played that one. Took good engagements most of the game. I love just how much forward pressure he was able to keep. Sora Kuma, he went for the attack, but he never really held the land. He never held that side. But Capwatch held that land the entire time. With the monastery, the siege workshop, the castle. Capwatch is like, let's go, dude. That's what I'm talking about. Well played. Melee for Capwatch. And Shu for Sora Kuma here. So again, I think you pick the Shu because this is a good civ for archers. And Shu have very strong archers. And also because of the traction trebs later on. I know traction trebs feels like a very long-term thing to think about. But you picked Malay because you want to hit the timings, right? You want to get an advantage in early castle. You want an advantage in early imp. Malay would usually push with Trebs and Bombard Cannon. So if the level's really even, those imp differences are going to matter. I think that's the biggest conversation between these civs, is just what they can do in early Imperial Age. You can attack on the sides. You'd have to cut the reeds with the lumber camp. In theory, you could just bring 5 Dark Age villagers, take a reed, and walk through right now. But usually players are aware of that. You can wall this or house wall that or outpost that to see if someone sneaks. So don't get too excited for a sneak. Ooh. Okay, so Sora Kuma is going to try a pre-lumber camp, pre-mill barracks, which the shoe don't necessarily have any bonuses for. I mean, technically, if you're taking the wood line right now, you get a little bit of food income. But this is a build that's rather difficult to execute unless you get a couple deer in. And even still, this can compromise your feudal age time. I just wonder, will Capwatch expect this? Funnily enough, Capwatch might be planning on going for militia himself, but maybe in the more standard format. So he goes for the lumber camp first. And he'll wait for the wood income. But this is a build that Sora Kuma has done a lot on chicken Arabia. I wouldn't surprise me if Sora Kuma does it on Valley. We have lots of hares and chickens in the middle of the version of Valley. But he's really comfortable with these types of builds. And Sora Kuma is very quick. If he doesn't feel like he can get villager damage, he'll just take down your houses. Now, that's part of what makes his build so strong, is Dark Age houses just aren't very strong. Not anymore anyways. There's been some changes over the years. There goes the scout for Capwatch. He's looking for his sheep, and he's like, oh. All right. I guess you're drushing now, and I guess I'm never going to eat that sheep, so I'll just kill it. That was a real emotional moment for that scout, because that was his favorite sheep. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do. He's getting loom, and a villager is coming forward from Sora Kuma. Wow. So 2 militia, villager with no loom, but I guess you're not expecting this villager to be in harm's way. On the back, Capwatch has walled up his wood line. But what can Sora Kuma actually do economically now? He needs to walk all the way over here to get a sheep. He's walking to the middle to eat a deer. The boar is almost gone. The reason some people won't do this is because it is such a stretch on your economy. Capwatch was hoping to push in an extra deer, and Sora Kuma saw that. Sora Kuma is now pushing it away with his scout. Where is that villager at? Villager is here. All right, next person to subscribe, you know the drill. Her name right now is Villager, but I feel like there's a more important name, a more storytelling name that we can use. She's going to be walled in, just waiting there for a sneak moment. Capwatch is pushing in the extra deer. Capwatch wants to run to feudal age. Chat is giving me names. I'm trying to bait someone into subscribing right now, and it's not working. So if we don't have that happen, I will gladly name it Morton or Janessa or Bernice or whatever you guys want to name this villager. I'm doing my best right now. Maximus. Oh, Maximus Jr. Oh my god, that's the first time it's actually epic. Maximus Jr. I'm going to do Maximus and Capsimus. Maximus Jr. Damn. Hey, sorry, Fairgroove. Thank you for the 4 months, though. There we go. All right, there's Maximus. Should we call her Maxima? Okay, oh, shoot, I got to retype it. Maxima. I'm not retyping the junior. Sorry, that's just implied. So, Capwatch wants some counter damage. So far, his houses have just been attacked. So far, Capwatch has dealt really well with this. Like, Capwatch thinks he's completely fine. Sora Kuma should know he's under some pressure because he saw the barracks. He's just still sitting here attacking the houses. Maxima is the plan. This is the whole strat for Sora Kuma now to get the win. Now, he expects some pressure from Capwatch. He's walling up his wood lines. He's walling up his gold. Capwatch's scouting is critical right now, guys. Capwatch's scouting is everything. But there's no reason to ever expect a villager back there, because you never saw it. So he is going to expect a defensive archer range. Now, back to what we said before, in between games. I know you guys all listen to every word I say, right? So you all know what I'm talking about. It's what you don't see, right? So what should happen here is Capwatch is looking around. He's expecting an archer range at home because that makes sense. And then he doesn't see it. And then he should be like, wait a second. And then he could look around. But it might take some time. Because we also have more additional militia getting added from Sora Kuma. He is going to go for man-at-arms. This is a crazy build. And there it is. There's the archer range. So it's a lot of pressure from Capwatch already before the sneak archers. Ooh, scout for Sora Kuma gets trapped, though. And Capwatch gets the quick wall. That's a nice one for Capwatch. He also gets another house. There's still a hole there. But there is the town center fire. So Sora Kuma will have to be careful. Sora Kuma does not want to be careful. Sora Kuma gets revenge. Gets the villager snipe. What does Capwatch see right now? I think it's too busy for Capwatch to look. He will expect the range on the front. I don't even think he'll think twice about a sneak. There's nothing that would indicate that sneak archer range. And there's also going to be a range here from Sora Kuma. So honestly, Capwatch might never really know. But you don't want to show your archers before Capwatch. You only want to show your archers if you know Capwatch can't immediately deal with it. So Capwatch has got his archers at home. Now would be a bad time to attack. Because he can just immediately clean that up. If anything, you only want to show your archers once you know Capwatch is at your main base. Does Capwatch have any suspicions? I don't think so. I think he's just protecting his wall villager. That's it. And he'll do the same on this side. He knows the man-at-arms are still out there. I mean, economy for Sora Kuma is one farm eco. That's not ideal. This is a risky play. But it's high risk and high reward. And the archer range is still there. Wall on the left is finished for Capwatch. Now, once the walls are completed, he might send his army forward, right? Yeah, so now he knows, okay, I'm going to be walled. So let's send my army out. This could be a masterclass, guys. Because if Sora Kuma sees the army now, he may feel inclined to use his archers. But I think you need to wait for more than 3, honestly. Sora Kuma's walling is so important here. Oh, man. Villager build faster. Villager build faster. Villager build faster. Villager build faster. Okay, that's probably enough. Capwatch has skirmishers and man-at-arms behind his berries here. And, okay, house foundation in a panic. Army needs to come over for Sora Kuma. House foundation is going to go down. Archers are into the wood line. Archers are into the wood line. The archers are here. 2 villagers down. Capwatch is like, wait, what? Where did this come from? And he has no army here because he's gone forward. He's now in to his opponent's base, though. So maybe he can get counter damage. He's bringing 2 archers back. But what a crazy sneak. What a payoff. All because of Maxima Jr. Thank you for the prime sub. Or, sorry, what are we calling her? Maxina something? Problem is, you go forward with army, and then you don't have as much defense. So Capwatch can get some nice counter damage. This could still eventually be cleared up for Capwatch, but oh man, the micro needs to be better than that. Micro needs to be better than that. He's got some weak vills in there. He's panicking with the tower. Meanwhile, oh my god, now Sora Kuma is panicking with a tower. Man, what a fun set. What a fun series. This has been great. Man-at-Arms and Skirmishers actually broke in, so now they're over here to defend. Capwatch could still take this wood line, though. Damn, this is so good. I think it's still very even. Like, I think Capwatch could hold this easier than Sora Kuma can hold this, but I still consider it very even. I think Sora Kuma needed that to be walled, right? If that was walled and this army didn't get in like it did, he could have done the same amount of damage. Man-at-Arms and Skirms will fight back. But yeah, Villagers and Skirmisher micro there from Capwatch. Capwatch clears it. Really nice job from Capwatch. There's certain players you might not want to go Chaos mode against because they thrive in the Chaos, and Capwatch is one of them. Capwatch you want to play like clean and just try and out execute a little bit. But if you go full dog mode, as some people might say, Capwatch is like, I live there, man. Let's go. This is perfect for me. No problem. Villager's still over here. Noticing a lot of idols for Sora Kuma. This is crazy. Like, this whole wood line's just not working. This is what... That's 3 of Twitch Chat's coworkers, and that's 1 of Twitch Chat right there. Okay, she's back to work now. She got called out. Her boss came into the room. I do think you still need to be extremely paranoid about where those archers came from. And as we say it, Capoch patrols over this way and finds the stable. He doesn't seem to notice it because he's microing over here. But man, he's getting good value from this militia as well. This militia is really held on. Capoch, just notice this. Just notice this. Stable is completely unprotected. And maybe it can complete, but Sora Kuma would have to spam click. Spam click and hope for the best. That's all you can do. Try and time it. Okay, now she's running. There are archers moving out this way. She's probably going to go down. And power melee, they advance faster to the next stage. Capoch has pretty clean economy. He'll use the market to click up. He'll definitely arrive to Castle Age faster. Archers come in, though. Snipe a weak villager. That's nice. Oh, 2 weak villager. Oh, 3 villagers. What? Oh, my God. That's sick. That's crazy. Underneath the tower as well. That's not easy to do. I had to find all the weak villagers there and did. And then Capwatch tried to garrison the Weakville, but there wasn't enough space left anymore. Wait, she's still alive. Oh, she's dead now. Well, Maximus Jr., thank you for subscribing. Your stable got denied at 83%, but you lived a good life. You lived a memorable life. There aren't many people who could live a life quite as exciting as that villager. So, salutes to you. Walls from Sora Kuma now. I think if you do this, you always need a stone gate. Right? Like, the front of your base, because there was army in the back of his base, he never farmed there. Also, his mill was on the front, but you need a stone gate. You house wall everything, stone gate in the front, or a tower there is needed. This wood line can always just be relocated. Capwatch wants a siege push. That's why that villager is here. And Capoch is going to have full 2 minutes to pressure here. This could be over, guys. Sora Kuma did kill more vills, but it was not significant enough damage. And no, there's a hole! The stupid bamboo graphic on the side of the house gets somebody again. How many times is that going to happen? And Capoch is going to walk right through the bamboo. He's going to build a siege workshop. This was already going to be bad for Sora Kuma, but now it's even worse. Again, you probably should be checking that, man. You're fully walled. Click a villager out to see if there's a gap. I think this was still going to be horrible for Sora Kuma because the gate goes down in 2 seconds anyways. But I guess that saves Capwatch 2 seconds. Great job from Capwatch. The archer range is still here, but he does not seem that worried about it. And double tower now defense for Sora Kuma as he has to move another wood line. Yeah, the issue for Sora Kuma was he took too much damage. Not that he didn't deal enough damage. He dealt enough damage. But the militia and the scout and the archers getting into his base were just a real issue here. Your eco is really stretched when you try and go for the build he went for. Second town center for Capoch now. Go to eco upgrades for Capoch. This would be an amazing opening round for him. And I don't know how much Capoch listens to what Twitch chat says or what casters say, you know, but like, Capoch has been around a long time. And Sora Kuma's feels like maybe next generation Age of Empires, right? He's a younger player who's improving. So when someone's been around for a long time, I think it's easy to underestimate them a little bit. And Capoch would be like, let's not get hyped about Sora Kuma. Get hyped about me, man. I'm still an absolute beast. It's amazing how good he can be. The first game, I wasn't really sure because the build from Soruma was so relaxed. But, man, Capwatch seems locked in right now. And we could see a castle for him as well. Our base, it's not really Sorakuma's first TTL season. Like, it's first group stage season, I guess. He did try and qualify before and lost to wide. In the, in what I guess you could call the bronze bracket. Though it was technically silver. But I guess you're right. The fact that it's his first group stage season is pretty wild. He doesn't play like a player who you would think could be in their first group stage at all. It feels like he'd be in gold permanently. I think that also says just how crazy it's been that he got denied previously, and how competitive the scene is overall, and not just him, but also how much he's improved. When Soruma wins games, it's not normally through doing anything crazy. And so that was his strategy here, but Capwatch has been able to manage that. Capwatch takes down the market, which is super annoying for Soruma. He takes down the Mangonel. 4 Mangonels here. And he is well aware that Soruma is waiting for him as well. He doesn't know there's a double siege workshop in the middle for Soruma. This is quickly spiraling out of control. Soruma needs something. So that's why he's going for the double siege workshop. But can he afford anything right now? There are cav archers here. Those cav archers can't really go anywhere or do anything. Man, the micro from Capwatch continues to be next level stuff here, man. Super clean. Well, maybe not. I jinxed him, but you know, it was good before then. And he'll take this Mangonel, and that's perfect. That's fine. He'll lose those crossbows. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. You're taking the siege. This is a siege war now. He needs time so he can boom. Capwatch doesn't know there's siege workshops here. He will actually find out here at the perfect time. I don't know about that castle, Capwatch. Now that you know there's a siege push, you might just want to chill out and drop a castle next to your... I mean, that's even kind of crazy. I would have deleted this farm and placed it here because it protects your town center. Bro. Delete a house or something, Capwatch. Oh my god, 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 he found it. Okay. Guys, this could be bad. This could be really, really bad for Capwatch. He needs to complete this castle. His vill advantage is building this castle right now. The villagers are so weak. He's gonna lose so many. Has to complete it. But it's fine. It's fine. Never a doubt. Never a doubt. He completes the castle. Karambit Warriors would be very helpful now. He's still pushing on the front. He's still about to take down Sorakuma's only town center. Capwatch is busy looking at home, so he loses a Mangonel, but still in a good position. And now he'll just town center the middle, and the Karambit Warriors will clear this up. And Capwatch had already given himself such a nice lead. I like backing off here because you've already done enough, and you just win the game if you don't lose anything in the middle. So just take your time. Don't be overly distracted. Wait for this game to chill out a little bit more again. But yeah, that got a little risky there. But he just didn't know. Who has 2 siege workshops in the middle there? Usually no one, so... I can understand why he was surprised. I don't like where he placed the castle ultimately, but it wasn't nearly as bad as it could have been. The 76 villagers versus 53, and Soruma taps out. Damn, interesting times in this group, guys. I'm very interested now. I was predicting a 2-1 win for Soruma here. I thought that Capwatch would win his home map. I wasn't sure how Capwatch would play on this map, but Capwatch played amazing, and this was also his #1 pick. That's pretty cool, too. To pick your #1 civ for your opponent's home map and be able to win on your own home map with a weaker civ, or a civ that, you know, isn't as high in the draft, is always pretty good. Amazing economy. He dealt with the sneak archers very well. I do think the key, though, I'm just going to go back to it. I think what makes this a much easier game for Sora Kuma is if those units never get through this wall. Went too far back. So yeah, if this is already walled, I guess this isn't even fully walled yet, but let's just pretend this is going to be fully walled and the archers take some time. Then he's getting counter damage. And then he has more than enough time to just make a couple skirms to prepare for this. But this army got crazy value this game. Like, this army changed the whole game. Otherwise, I think the sneak, you kill some villagers, you force reactions from Capwatch, and then you're completely fine at home, and then you're in Castle Age in a better position, and the rest of the game changes from that. But that's also just good from Capwatch to just continue to apply pressure. And that's also the risk with sneaking the archer range. You're just late on army at home if you're Sora Kuma.